The people who grow the fastest always end up being the ones that don't have big circles. And it's not because they are antisocial, it is because they don't force connection where there is none. The myth about friendship is we live in a world where we celebrate being surrounded by people. Big group chats, planning every single weekend, always being around people. But because everyone normalized it, at my young age, I thought, okay, I gotta normalize it as well. I gotta normalize jokes that are actually disrespects but just said as jokes, and I gotta just normalize not feeling like I fit in, not feeling like I'm meant to be around these people because I've always felt like I am around people, I am around the friends, I am around company, but I felt like I have no company because nobody really understood the level of awareness that I had. But now, years later, I understand that losing friend is not actually a signal that you're not okay or something is wrong with you. It's actually a feedback that you are evolving, a feedback that you leveled up, a feedback that you are becoming more aware, a feedback that you are setting standards for people that are around you, a feedback that your boundaries get stronger. And it's the biggest feedback that shows you've outgrown the people around you. And I was always asking myself, why am I losing friends where I'm actually growing or I'm actually evolving or I'm actually, changing myself into a better version of myself? And sometimes, actually, most of the time, growth creates distance because three things starts happening. You stop tolerating disrespect, even if it's jokes, even if it's words, because you know the power of words and you know how sometimes they do mean the stuff that they say about you just through saying it to you as a joke, and that is saying it to you indirectly. That's the first one. You stop tolerating that bullshit. Second is you stop explaining yourself. You don't need to explain your value, your worth, for you to let someone understand how valuable you are. Someone with value or worth would not sit and explain to someone who have no value why the fuck they are valuable. And three, you stop participating in conversation that don't really align with your vision and don't really align with where you are going. That was the biggest signal for me that I've outgrown my circle and I gotta be okay with it because if I'm not, it will affect me on my growth journey, which is me wanting to level up financially. I've always wanted to get into investing, entrepreneurship, and just really building my life from scratch. But people around me always saw it like too risky to start an online business, too risky to take an investment in yourself, too risky to start something online, too cringe to post on social media. And those conversations, especially they're not for you and they don't match your alignment, they don't match your values, they don't match your vision. When you stop participating in these conversations, that is also a sign of growth. And this is where the most famous phrase comes in: you have changed. Anytime you hear your friends or your circle or whoever you know tells you that you have changed, there's another definition that we call it. The correct wording of that phrase is you have evolved, you have leveled up, you became a better person, you value yourself more. So anytime you hear you have changed, that is what they actually mean. And the reason why some people end up being alone, it's not because it's hard or difficult to deal with them, is actually is because they are hard to manipulate. When people cannot manipulate you anymore, cannot play with your mind anymore, cannot play with you anymore, that's when they're like, oh, you've changed. No, I just know when you manipulate me, when you talk to me. So remember this. You are not losing friends because you are hard to deal with. You are losing friends because you are no longer manipulatable. And when you stop being available for that role, you become the odd one. Let me end it with this. Almost every person that I've met that have not a lot of friends and they have a valuable circle around them, always the ones that end up to being the black sheep of the family, the one that break the generation curses of the family. They always end up being the ones that are not okay with repeating the same cycles. They are okay with walking alone for a while. They are okay with solitude. They are okay with trusting themselves, with finding peace within them without needing validation or people around them. If you say 2026 from few friends to no friends, that is actually the biggest sign you don't tolerate the bullshit, don't respect your growth anymore. And I want to congratulate you because that usually is always the beginning of your journey.